Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Golden Astrologer Podcast. This is Deb McBride, and I welcome you this fine Sunday, the 19th of September, in the year 2021. And I am broadcasting from lovely Escazú, Costa Rica, where it is dusk at the moment. And so it's not quite a sunset, not much color in the sky. So, anyway, it is going to be another fun-filled week. Yeah, lots going on this week, lots going on. But, we're going to talk about this because I had a good question from someone the other day, and I addressed it on Instagram, and I need to address it this week on the podcast. Let's start with the fact that the moon is in Pisces, and it's about to be full. Okay, so tomorrow there is a full moon, and it'll be late in the afternoon. And it's in my region. It's like late afternoon, early evening, like right before 6 p.m. And, it's Pisces, right? So Pisces is not the most active, ambitious, dynamic, confidence-oriented sign. Not that Pisces can't be confident, but I feel really like this is a sleepy time. Like, it's been kind of exhausting. And today, the moon's in Pisces all day. It's approaching Neptune. It will reach Neptune in the middle of the night in my region of the world. And it's just one of those things where you feel like, I think it's a day of rest, It's just a day of rest. And I've done some things today, but, not like I wanted to do. And, I think it's good. Sunday's supposed to be a day of rest, but we often don't rest. And, one of the things that we have to balance at this full moon is the rest, which is the Pisces, and the practicality and the working, which is Virgo, where the sun is. And so there is this balance. And the full moon is going to occur, about 12 hours after the moon crosses Neptune. So like maybe a few minutes more, but it will cross Neptune in the middle of the night for me. And then the moon will oppose the sun, like I said, around 6 p.m. my time. And so that's like, I already feel that moon in Pisces to Neptune. And I think, of course, it does this every month. So why should this be any different? Because it's going to be full, because it's opposing the sun, because already we're feeling the opposition of moon and sun. And it's like a heavy energy, but not a bad heavy energy. It's just like, okay, I think I'll roll over and go back to sleep now. And I think I stayed in bed an extra hour this morning. I woke up and then I was just like, I don't have to go anywhere today. Yesterday I had to be someplace. Friday I had a repair person coming. Today I just stayed there. And before I knew it was an hour. And it was hard to get my eyes open and all. Now, I have other things going on. I just did all that Reiki on Thursday, and I've been practicing all the new methods, and they are deeply cleansing. And I have to say, when I came out of the initiation, I was like, my eyelids were very heavy, and the energy was very heavy. I couldn't really open my eyes right away. I just had to sit there for a little bit, and just sort of adjust. And I think for me, that's what I'm feeling, that I'm making this adjustment, in this dimensional adjustment. But Neptune rules dimensions. It's what's there, what we think is there, what we feel is there versus what we're seeing, which may not be there, or we're not seeing, and Mercury is a more of a practical planet, and Virgo is certainly a practical sign. So when we get a full moon like this, every year we have a full moon, but this is at the end of, like, Pisces is like, this is the end of the zodiac. It's 2813, but that's where the moon is going to be. So it only gives a little bit more before it's the end of Pisces, and then we go into Aries. And we go into Aries tomorrow night after the full moon. So it's really around 9 p.m. my time, a little after 9 p.m. my time, which means it's a little after 11 p.m. Eastern time. And so, we're not going to get to enjoy that Aries moon so much, but you would think, the moon, when it's full, it gets us all revved up, but maybe we'll get revved up afterwards. It's just right now, it's just nap time. And that's okay. We have to rest. We have to stop. And so there is a pull and a push of practicality and work and reliability versus sleeping, resting, connecting with the divine, connecting with other dimensions, going to sleep and going off into the subconscious and into dreamland and other places, other worlds, as opposed to being very concrete here in this world. So, we have to make some sort of balance for that in these next hours and today and tomorrow. And, it's not simple. Yes, like I said, there's always this. I mean, back when the sun is in Pisces and the moon is in Virgo, there's a full moon, and that's during Pisces season, and that's actually something that you would think would be similar. But I think it's, since the moon is becoming full, it's that lunar goddess energy that is just lulling us into this place of different worlds. It's like the moon card in the tarot. Is it here? Is it there? Is it not? Is it real? Is it possible? And am I supposed to just sit back and trust my intuition? Well, yeah, sit back and trust your intuition. And it's really hard right now to grasp things. Like, things are not within our grasp. They just feel like they're slipping out of our hands, probably because we're falling asleep as we're walking across the room with something in our hand. Oh, where did that pen go? Oh, I dropped it because I was falling asleep on my feet. So that's part of it. The moon is going to cross Neptune and sextile Pluto a few hours later. And in the meantime, and this is tomorrow, in the meantime, Mercury is going to trine Jupiter in the afternoon, my time. And it's like, hey, that's a good energy. That's like alert and awake and fun and big ideas and like nice, pleasant exchanges and compliments and congratulations and good wishes. Because Mercury is, as we know, in Libra, where it's staying for a while. And it's going to trine Jupiter, which is, at 23 right now, and once it gets to 22, it's really going to station. We're going to talk about that. But so the full moon. The full moon is full. It feels, it's a watery moon, and I feel this bloat, this sort of this this collective bloat. Just like we're all bloated and all we want to do is, it's like after Thanksgiving dinner, and you're like, okay, let me just go lay down now and crash in the living room in a couch or a chair and something. Well, while everyone like sits around and like gets over the tryptophan that's in the turkey. But it's a watery moon, and it's a heavier, not like a negative heavy energy. It's just a sleepy energy. So if your body needs more sleep, and Virgo and Pisces are the signs of health and healing, both of them, because they land in healing houses. Like Pisces is more institutions, like going to the hospital, going to the ashram, resting at the ashram or the spa or something. Whereas Virgo is, your everyday health. You're taking your vitamins, you're eating well, you're having a salad, you're making a green drink, that's that kind of thing. So this is asking us to take care of our health. Look at our health. Make some changes in your health. Shift your healthy routines into healthier routines, So buy some new exercise clothes, do a new exercise routine, that kind of thing. So, yes, and then the moon enters Aries. It's void for only a couple of hours. It's void immediately after that full moon. It's void. And, it is void. It enters Aries several hours later. So it's okay. it just means that we maybe need to pay attention to our bodies a little more and rest a little more and focus a little more on the line between giving over ourselves and keeping ourselves, in check for our own self. Okay. So that's part of this. Now, moving right along, that's just tomorrow. Today the moon's in Pisces and we're already feeling it becoming full. And we're already feeling it headed towards that Neptune. And, it sextiled Uranus earlier and it trined Venus earlier today. So that's different. But, it's just moving through. It's moving through the zodiac and it's going to get that Neptune, lack of jazz. So take a hot bath and do some cleansing. This is a great time to cleanse, cleanse your house, cleanse your space, use your sage. Do the things that help you feel like psychically better. And, because there is maybe a psychic collective energy that's causing the bloat. So it's psychic bloat. That's what I'm going to call it. Psychic bloat. Okay, I've just coined a new term, psychic bloat. Okay. So, then we have Tuesday and the moon marches through Aries and it opposes Mars and, it makes that relationship, because Mars is, in its opposite side of Libra. And then, the moon is also going to cross Chiron on Tuesday. And then we move into Wednesday. And that's when there's more rock and roll. So let's talk about Wednesday. The sun goes into Libra. So we have a planet changing signs this week. Ta-da! It is the September equinox. And if you're in the north, it's the autumn equinox. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, it is the spring equinox. So things are going to start getting warm there in, Australia and New Zealand and South Africa and stuff. So, it's the time when the sun moves into the cardinal signs again. It moves into Libra and it crosses that cardinal axis. And that happens, in my region, 1:20 in the afternoon. And in the meantime, so here we go. So we're ending the Virgo season. The Earth sign season will be finished and we will be moving into air. And we'll have more planets in air. Now enjoy this because we've had a lot in Earth. And the moon will go into Aries that, as I said, tomorrow night. And to Tuesday and to Wednesday, it will be in Aries and, eventually go into Taurus, but not until, the wee hours of Thursday or early morning Thursday, depending on where you live. So it's going to void on like 8 p.m. after it opposes Mercury, which is also in Libra, on Wednesday. So it's got a couple days of the moon in Aries. Now, this is good because we don't have any fire in the sky, except for Chiron, but we don't really have any fire in the sky. So we're asking for fire. We're asking for motivation. And, maybe this is part of the psychic bloat. We don't have enough fire. We've got all this water. So as we move through the week, we are going to shift signs. We're moving out of Virgo into Libra. So things are going to be a little more posh, a little more effete, a little more aesthetic, a little more brainy. We will then have 3 planets in Libra. Now remember, this has sort of been a pattern all year. And even though Mercury and Venus have, Venus certainly has moved on, Mercury and Venus and Mars were all staying kind of close together. And they have been. And Venus is in Scorpio and she's just going to keep moving. But, remember all year, cluster in Capricorn, cluster in Aquarius, cluster in Pisces. Well, now here we are in Libra. And there's going to be 3 planets in Libra, and it'll be the Sun and Mars and Mercury. And so that's something profound because we're just moving through the zodiac here, and everything is going to kind of keep going in the direction of, clusters of planets in signs. And, I've talked about early next year where Venus and Mars are going to travel together for a while. And they're going to be in the signs of, like, Capricorn and Aquarius and stuff. And that's a lot of planets will be gathered together in that area at that time of year. So, yeah, so the sun is going to go into Libra on Wednesday, the 22nd. And we cross that cardinal axis. And we have that experience. And it really does, give us another jolt of air. There's more air in the sky. So, what's going to happen? So we move into Libra this week. Now, on Wednesday, a bunch of things are going to happen. Moon is going to square Pluto, but it does that every month or a couple times a month. But Mercury's going to square Pluto. Now, remember what I told you a few weeks ago. Mercury's going to square Pluto Wednesday, and it's going to be breakfast time, or getting up time, depending on where you are. And it really is going to be this interesting moment because Mercury's going to square Pluto and slow down to retrograde next Sunday. So when we meet next Sunday, Mercury's going to be stopping in the sky going retrograde. It's going to be later that night. And actually, if you live in the East Coast, it's going to be the wee hours Monday morning. But Mercury will be stopping. Now, as I said before, when Mercury squares the Pluto, it's going to square Pluto for like a week and a half. Because it's going to start it's effectively already squaring Pluto. Mercury's at 22, Pluto's at 24, and they are really starting to dance together. So if you out there have a Mercury Pluto in your chart, then you are going to experience what we call a recurrence. If you have a Mercury square Pluto in your chart, you are going to be feeling this quite profoundly. Now, what is that? What is Mercury square Pluto? Well, Mercury and Pluto are interesting dynamic because Pluto is about intensity and passion and getting to the root of matters and going deep, 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 deep and cutting to the core of something. And Mercury is cutting to the core of our thoughts, going deep into the levels of our subconscious and connecting with answers, with things that are completely unknown until we go and pull back the curtain and dig into the underworld and say, oh, that's the answer. Okay, that's the answer. So Mercury's going to square Pluto. It's going to square Pluto again, but not immediately. It's going to square it again on Friday, October 1st. Now, I find that interesting. It's a little over a week, but it doesn't matter because it's, to my estimation, that is a week-long square. That is a square that is going on for a while, okay? Yeah, you could say it's not exact. No, it's not exact. But the exactitude of it, to me, doesn't entirely matter because it's still hovering. Mercury will be stopped. Sunday it will retrograde, it will go back, and it will square Pluto again on the 1st of October, which is Friday of, almost 2 weeks from now. And that is profound. That means profound thoughts, profound conversations, intense connections, intense thoughts, psychic thoughts. So maybe the psychic bloat will dissipate as we get to this Mercury Pluto because we're going to get some answers. We're going to get some shifting. And this is a great time to do any sort of inner work, inner mental work, to shift out all the old thought patterns. Pluto's about transformation. Shift those old thought patterns. This is where you want to change, any of those, like the negative self-talk that we often have, and we all have some of it. But there is a complete opportunity here to shift this energy. Now, Mercury will do this 3 times, but he's really got his, little butt going backwards for a while, and he's not going to get past Pluto for the 3rd time for a while yet. So we're not going to worry about him and Pluto just yet. We're going to be just focused because he won't get back there till November. So we're just going to be thinking about where can you shift your thinking. That's a really important thing that's coming up. Starting now and going on for a good week and a half to 2 weeks, because really, this is where we're going to get, some answers. We're going to get some deep connection with ourself, okay? And this is a great time to do inner work when Mercury goes retrograde. It is a good time to step back, review, revise. As we know every Mercury retrograde, we review, we revise, we reconnect, we rethink. Now, Mercury in Virgo, Mercury in Libra. Mercury's in Libra. It's a little analytical. Mercury in Virgo did not really made a nice trine to Pluto. Okay, so there was that nice trine. So maybe at the time that Mercury was trining Pluto, it was giving you some sort of, ideas about what you want to shift. Like things were a little smoother then, and that was an opening, because trines are an opening. So now we're here at the square, and we're looking at what's really, really, giving us an inside view. And that's what we want. We want that inside view. Okay? So this is really important that Mercury square Pluto is going to go on for a while. I want everybody to sit down and journal and meditate and not just think, because, with Libra Mercury, you got the opportunity to talk and talk. And, talking is fine. Talking things out is fine. Communicating is fine. But when you start this square business, this is where you have to go beyond talking and do something, where that takes you into the recesses of your subconscious. So that's what's important here. So remember that, and we're going to talk about that for a while. Now, Mercury is going retrograde. Yes, next week on Sunday. So when we visit each other again next Sunday, Mercury will be going retrograde. But this is the beginning, because, and it's hard to believe tomorrow's the 20th of September. When we go into October, we start the direct stations of all these planets. Now, there's 4 planets, and I've told you this before, and we're approaching the moment where on the 6th of October, Pluto will go direct. And on the 10th of October, Saturn will go direct. And then the 17th of October, Jupiter will go direct. So that's like a week and a half later. And then Mercury will go direct the next day. Now, depending on where you live, Jupiter and Mercury may go both direct on the 18th. Like if you live on the East Coast, it'll be 12:30 a.m. on the 18th that Jupiter goes direct. Depending on where you live, you may have both of those going direct, both on the 18th. But it doesn't matter. That weekend, that mid-October weekend, 2 planets going direct. Okay? So 4 planets moving forward. Now, this goes back to the question I received. I received a question this week. Should I accelerate changes? And the answer right now is no. Do not accelerate anything. It's already accelerated. The changes are accelerating. We are having this experience where we are moving forward with gusto. This is the winds of change are here. If Pluto is going direct on the 6th of October, that is a Wednesday, and that is 2 weeks, 3 weeks away. 1 week? Yeah, it's 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks from now. 2.5 weeks from now, Pluto's going direct. Okay, that means Pluto's already starting to stop in the sky. That means when Mercury and Pluto are talking, they're both slow. Okay? And they're giving us, it doesn't mean they're just dim-witted. It means that they are moving slowly and intensely, and they are moving slowly and intensely together. And by the time they make that second square on October 1st, they're both going to be intensely involved and deep and moving slowly. Okay? So things are moving. It may not look like it on the surface of your life. It may not look like it. You may be like tapping your fingers on the desk going, I don't know, this has been quite a year and I'm still in the same place. Just hold on, because lots of stuff is about to move forward. With 4 planets moving direct within a week and a half. Next month, We're already experiencing the stations. Well, Jupiter's not at its stationary point yet. It's a degree away. It has to move backwards one more degree. But it's going to really going to affect us. We are going to feel this. So, let the changes happen on their own. They are happening. When you do inner work and you think nothing's happening, nothing's going forward, nothing, and then all of a sudden it all just blows up. It all comes out and hangs all over the room. It's like confetti just blew up and just flew all over the room. It's like, wow. And everybody will breathe a sigh of relief because all this energy that's been building up. And when planets stop, that's 4 planets stopping in the sky. It's not like, oh, 1 planet stops, moves forward. Okay. This is 4. And it's Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, first of all. Yeah, Mercury too. But Mercury does this 3 times a year. Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, if you recall, last year, were together for most of the year. And, maybe Saturn stepped out a little bit because it went into, Aquarius for a little bit and then came back. But no, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, all really close together. This is an enormous amount of energy pushing forward, and we need to be very aware of that. That could be contributing to the psychic bloat, that we're just like a pin about to pop a balloon, and that's what it's going to start to feel like over these next weeks. So please be aware of this and do not push. Allow and let the universe show you what it's designed for you. Libra design. And it's the truth because, I really feel like we just have to allow the flow to happen. And I see things flowing and fine. Okay. They're flowing. They're very subtle, but they're flowing. You could just write them off as, that's, whatever. That just happened. No, things are flowing. Things are moving forward. Allow them to do this. You are being prepared. Okay. So that's part of it. Now on Thursday, Venus will oppose Uranus. There's so much going on this week. Venus is opposing Uranus, so that's exciting because Venus is in Scorpio and Uranus is in her sign of Taurus. So they're going to have a conversation, maybe an excitable conversation, maybe a passionate conversation, maybe a very fast-moving conversation. So that's another thing that's happening. There's this Venus opposite Uranus. That's like, and there's a little bit of rebellion in that. I'm not doing this, so just hang on. Don't get impatient. Venus, Uranus can get impatient. You could be really impatient. Don't get impatient. So you got to hang in there. We all have to hang in there right now. And, we're going to watch some big shifts come. We are. Mars is going to trine Saturn on Saturday. Next Saturday, Mars will, reach the degree of, where it is in Libra already, trining Saturn. Saturn's pretty early in Libra. And, so this is like air signs talking to each other. So that's actually good. Mars and Saturn, they need to talk sweetly to each other. So this is a good opportunity for Mars to reach out in Libra somehow, passive-aggressively. Mars in Libra can be passive-aggressive. So Mars reaching out to Saturn, maybe forming a bond, maybe forming a friendship, maybe forming a connection. This is a lot of energy moving at the same time. Don't think nothing's happening. Don't put your foot on the accelerator. Do not. Because once we get to this Mercury-Pluto, lots of stuff can happen. If you're a meditator like I am, you are going to get ideas and deep things and feel deep shifts. I'm feeling them already, okay? If you get tired, yes, there are deep shifts happening. And this is why we need to rest. Because if we don't rest, we aren't going to be ready when the deep shifts happen and we're going to, be knocked off kilter. So, if you feel tired, if you feel that psychic bloat, yes, just take a nap, go for a swim, sit in your bathtub, watch a movie, do something Piscean. Movies are Piscean. Write in your journal, meditate, do something that's going to give your soul the the rest it needs. Your soul needs some rest because of all the shifts that are happening. Okay, so Venus opposite Uranus can be excitable, so that could be an excitable midweek thing on Thursday, and then we're moving towards this Mars trine Saturn, which is can be very peaceful, and then Mercury retrograde next Sunday. So I think we have a week chock full of things. The sun changes signs. It's going into that last area of the year, where we go into Libra and then Scorpio Sag, and like at the very end of the year we go to Capricorn. But it's moving into Libra time. We're getting ready for, up north you're getting ready for autumn and the leaves falling and the colors changing and the seasons shifting and beauty, 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 because it's Libra, And, Venus may wake us up a little bit with Uranus, and she may ask us to take a risk, and we may be told to take a risk, and somebody may take a risk in relationships and friendships, with money. Maybe it's a little bit of a risky time. Okay. Maybe you need to step forward and do that. But think about it, okay? Remember, we're not putting our foot on the accelerator. Don't I'm going to throw all my money in this investment. No, don't do that. Things are confusing. Mercury is getting ready to retrograde. It's stationing. And so this is a week full of moments, okay? And we've got to move through them with grace, and we have to move through them with consciousness. That Virgo Pisces brings us consciousness and balance, because we're going into Libra, and we all have 3 planets in Libra, so everything should be balanced, okay? Nice balance. And we want these things to serve us, okay? We're not going to sit here and hide under the pillow and say, I'm too tired, I can't deal with Mercury square Pluto. Where we want these things to enlighten us and help us move forward and show us the way, okay? And give us answers, give us information, give us enlightenment, We've got to use all this energy to enlighten ourselves. And that half hour went really quickly. So this Pisces full moon is sort of the counterpart to that Virgo full moon, or new moon, sorry. The Virgo new moon, which I thought was really intense and too strong and really kicked everybody's butt. And so we don't want butt kicking this week. We don't want planetary butt kicking. We want it's saying rest. It's telling us, not to push too hard. It's telling us to just do the task at hand and get through the day and give ourselves enough psychic space to move forward and to rest and to know that things are moving the way they should be. Okay? So this has been the Golden Astrologer Podcast, and if you'd like to stay in touch with me, it's info@thegoldenastrologer.com, and you can stay in touch with me on Instagram, The Golden Astrologer, where I'm posting videos and pictures and things, and you can stay in touch through Twitter @DebAstrology. The Facebook is The Golden Astrologer as well. And if you'd like a session with me, you just click on book online at thegoldenastrologer.com. And, I wish you a beautiful, beautiful week. I wish you a happy week. I wish you a restful week. And I give you much, much gratitude and thanks for listening. And good for you. You're listening to some astrology and you're learning something. Hey, give yourself some credit for that. So thank you all. Much love and gratitude. Have a beautiful week.